Hello again. So, there did not to be, this was the part 2 to the first part of the video about this slowdown in manufacturing of Tepezza. So, I've been looking for that information there. It's really, it's difficult. There's not a whole lot of data because it's so new. Okay. So, the reason that they had to not say anything, even if you were still just getting your first infusion and they called it off 2 days later, the reason they could not say anything about that is because as wonderful and probably well-intentioned as many places were, facilities, infusion centers, I don't know, doctors who were willing to front the money for patients to get all 8 infusions without any kind of interruption. It was kind of weird to them because so many people started mass ordering. So they really they weren't even sure until the last minute. And then they were told pretty abruptly. They kind of knew that it might be coming, but they weren't sure. And then once they did find out, it was pretty last minute, and they could not put that data, or they couldn't put that information out until it was, a sure thing that they wouldn't be able to continue. They are still making a very trickling amount, and they're going to use vision loss as an emergency situation. However, I think that in terms of priority, the first people to be able to get the supply that's remaining are the people who have begun therapy already. Probably second people would be, or not probably, I think the second people are the people who've been approved through their doctor by insurance. And then lastly, it's going to be the people who are wanting the therapy but haven't been given authorization through their insurance companies. Because it's all about that almighty dollar. But, when it costs money to develop a drug, it costs money to, you got to get your investment back. I actually know a scientist that works for Eli Lilly, and he was explaining all of the different case scenarios and how often they take a dive in the manufacturing process of drugs and how long it takes to develop a drug or to bring it to fruition where it's actually a used medication. So anyhow, there are 2,000 people who have completed all 8 therapy or all 8 infusions, and they're not all in the United States, even though the United States is the only place that it's an approved therapy for thyroid eye disease. Just a fun little fact for you. But they don't really see being able to start any kind of therapy trials or, any drug trials in the UK until the end of 2021. And Unfortunately, there was a bunch of hoarding that happened after they had to announce that they were not going to be able to continue manufacturing at the rate that they were, and they were not ahead of the game when that happened. So they were keeping up with the demand and the approval, but they did not have any stockpile going on. They didn't have all of that. I'm just kind of looking at my notes as I'm talking here because I don't want it to go on and on and on. But so pause. It dawned on me. What they wanted is for, if you have an approval from your insurance company to get this medication, okay, they foresee possibly getting a new or securing another manufacturing place maybe by the end of 2021. And what they said was, in the meantime, stay in contact with your P.A.M. and stay in contact with your doctor. Ask your doctor, even though they don't have the data to draw upon to tell you what to do or how to manage or whatever, they said to ask them how you can manage your symptoms in the meantime. What are some alternative things that you can do until you can get back to treatment or into the treatment that you were approved for or want to be approved for. And if you have an authorization, a prior auth for this medication, really important, stay on top of the authorization so that when they do get back to this, like end of 2021, if they can start making some more. But just keep in mind, they can still trickle a little bit for emergencies and maybe to finish up the people. If they don't see any emergencies, since they don't know what happens if you stop, and I'm so sorry, you guys. I know this is what you want to hear, but like if you have started infusions and are scared about what's going to happen, I'm scared with you, and we'll just get through this together. But I'm telling you, the emergencies that they're talking about, I think that they're probably going to wait a little. They didn't say this to me, but I'm going to guess they'll probably wait a little bit to see if emergencies do come up. But if they don't, like vision loss stuff, just keep in mind there's always the backup. I mean, like, I know I have a really, really slobbery eye, but I don't think my eyes came out too bad. And if your optic nerve is in danger, they can always do decompression surgery. And I know that's not optimal, and it seems like a really brutal thing right now, considering there's a new treatment out. But there is that to fall back on. But just keep in contact with your doctor and your P.A.M. Keep on top of when your authorization is up so that it can be renewed for when they can manufacture more of the medication. And let's see, what else have I missed? Just remember, you guys, stress is like superfood to thyroid eye disease. So stress and trauma, that can really fuel this disease like no other. It's like cancer almost, it's really terrible for this disease. So try not to stress too much. Just remember, there's always the tried and true forms of therapy. Horizon is really working hard to try and keep people informed. I'm going to do my best to try and find those people that might have a little information for them about what happens when you stop, if it had any impact on their vision and their eyes or their disease, and if it stayed that way or if it went back. Or I'm trying whatever I can do to try and find the people that couldn't continue with. They probably have some of that information, but if they lose track of people, this will help find them. And the one thing you can do is stay noisy with the FDA, because if we get all quiet and we act like, they'll know that we are missing our medicine. No, they're going to go with whoever's got that squeakiest, how that fork on a plate sound that makes you just go, ugh. Yeah, let's be that. Let's be that, so that the FDA knows that this is what happens when we have this disease. We fall, we face plant all the time. We can't make these beautiful things. Here's my other plug, my last plug of the night. We can't make these pretty things like Carrie's clovers. And we can't make these beautiful glass pieces that we're craftsmen. We need our vision. We can't live with permanent double vision. I mean, mine is optimized, but I have permanent double vision. And this has the potential for, not being that way. So, hey, just hang in there. And we got each other, right? I'm always around if you want to talk. Talk to me. Request me, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, just reach out. And by the way, Mary, I love you too. And thanks for keeping me in Jesus's head every day, because sometimes I get a little bit forgetful. So I appreciate you doing that for me. And I'll try and pay it forward, right? So you guys hang in there. And if there's anything else and there's any new developments like tomorrow, then because I'm supposed to talk to them again tomorrow. I have my beautiful granddaughter here, and we're going to try and get her sister featured on special books for special kids, because she has a very rare disease that is just, it's even worse than thyroid eye disease. But my sweet grandbaby is an amazing sister to her, and after losing her mommy, I think it just shows a lot that she's still the most warm, loving, wonderful creature that she is. So I'll talk to you guys really soon, okay? So just stay tuned, and I'll keep you updated if I have anything new to add, or if I realize that I forgot something. So I'm going to put it on YouTube because I think it'll be better to reach everybody, right? It's not because of anything else. So anyhow, I love you guys. Stay tuned. Have a good night and a really great Christmas if I don't talk to you before then.